If there's one thing that is very, very clear right now in our politics, it is the fact that non-Rift Valley politicians in Kenya Kwanza are currently very, very uncomfortable in government. And we have seen a lot of evidence of that. And the list is growing longer and longer every day. Rigathi Gachagua, even if he continues to deny, one cannot deny his body language. It has been very clear. Alice Wahome, we all know what happened when she was in charge of the water docket. In fact, in retrospect, things got so bad for Alice Wahome because she was in direct confrontation with her permanent secretary, who actually hails from the Rift Valley. Yeah. And what happened in the end? She lost because there was a cabinet reshuffle that removed her from the lucrative docket of water, yeah, from CS Water. And then there's the latest drama concerning Sports CS, Ababu Namwamba. And I can go on and on and on and on. Clearly, those in government who are not from the Rift Valley are not sitting pretty. Now, this is a very worrying state of affairs, because many Kenyans will not believe this, younger Kenyans. This did not even happen under the presidency of the late Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, yeah, whom many considered a tribalist favoring his home area. Even during Moi's presidency, the entire presidency, there was no single time when members of his cabinet who were not from the Rift Valley did not feel comfortable. There was no single time when members of cabinet who were not from his home area felt that they were under siege or under attack, which is exactly precisely the situation today. And it is becoming clearer and clearer by the day. Now, in my opinion, there is nothing more dangerous than this, especially for a government that did not come into power by a popular vote. Indeed, this government came into power controversially. Many people say there were just a few people who appointed this government, yeah, or who ensured the victory of this government. People like the former IEBC chairman, Wafula Chebukati, who controversially announced Ruto as the winner of those elections with very little paperwork to show for it, or paperwork that is still in dispute even today. So what I'm saying is that already in a situation like that, you have a very shaky government because you don't have support from most parts of the country. And one of the ways of at least trying to get some of that support is to ensure that members of your cabinet who are from outside the Rift Valley look very powerful, feel comfortable, yeah, and then of course their people, by extension, are bound to start supporting you at some point, or are bound to have a soft spot for you. But when the opposite happens, what do you expect? But there's another way of looking at this. There's some people who have told me that actually the problem is cabinet secretaries from outside the Rift Valley are feeling the heat. Indeed, appointed people in the Ruto administration who are from outside the Rift Valley are really feeling the heat. What do they mean? What they mean is that when they go on the ground to do their work, to implement whatever it is they want to implement on behalf of this government, they are always meeting with a very hostile public, a public that is very hostile to the government they actually represent, yeah, which is hardly surprising, because this government has gotten a reputation for itself for taxing people to the bone, This government has gotten a reputation and a label for doing nothing as the cost of living skyrockets and pushes Kenyans to the edge, or into a very tight corner, where virtually every Kenyan is feeling the pain, record fuel prices, etc., etc. And therefore, for these reasons, you can surely not expect the public to be receptive to members of government. And therefore, what these people are saying is, because these people are meeting with hostility on the ground, they are not able to follow instructions from State House to the letter, because they have big objectives. And of course, State House does not want to understand. And therefore, that is the trigger of the current situation, where non-Rift Valley people in government are feeling very uncomfortable. They are feeling under siege, in sharp contrast to people from the Rift Valley who are in government. Because when they go on the ground, they are received very warmly. It is our people. You know the mtu wetu mentality amongst Kenyans. Mtu wetu is in power. Karibu sana. Our government is in power. You're very welcome. And so on and so forth. Actually, it is quite likely that even if this is not the main cause, it is one of the causes of the current looming, brewing crisis within the Kenya Kwanza government. And it is actually much more serious than most Kenyans realize, because it is impossible to rule people who are hostile towards you and your administration. That should be clear. I guarantee you that the topic I've tackled on my show today will be much more clearer to you if you have taken in my latest book, The Ruto Kenyans Will Never Know. Okay, it is available for only $24.55, or Kenya shillings 2,455. I believe you can see details on your screens right now. I highly recommend it. Okay, I guarantee you it will bring you a lot of clarity, because there are a lot of very crazy things about to unfold in our politics. I know we've already seen many unprecedented things happen, but my message is mambo bado. And this book will help you a great deal to understand why I'm saying mambo bado. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.